Interested in five returning starters and just what that feels like and what camp has been like for you so far.
Yeah, a lot of starts in that room, a lot of maturity, a lot of guys that have seen, the ups and the trends of this program. They've heard from a lot of different coaches, so just speaking their language and working on that, building our calls, different things up front. It's easier when you have those guys who have experienced change before. You got a lot of starts in there, the Cunninghams, the Wagners, the Clarys, there's been Strombergs, there's guys that been in a lot of games, a lot of snaps. And that experience just breeds confidence, and they're able to see those situations that arise almost before they do it. And it's a lot of fun coaching them. We've got a great room right there, and I wake up every day blessed to be here, blessed to be coaching them.
Coach, I'm curious about the battle at left guard with Brady and Luke. How do you see that competition right now, and what would each guy bring, skill set wise if they started?
Yeah, it's going to be down to the wire, I'll be honest with you, and it's not one of those bad down to the wires either. They're scrapping every day. They know what's at stake. I'm not really it's not a secret in our room that there's a competition there. And, great programs, great teams are around. That's the cornerstone of it, is competition within those position groups. And those two guys are great kids that come up to work every day. With Luke, you're going to get a bigger kid. Brady's been putting on weight and done a great job getting up to over 300 pounds now. But Luke's a little bit of a bigger kid, sturdier kid. Brady, you're going to get, a very fiery young man who's going to go at it every day. It's going to come down to the wire, but it's not oh, man, who are we going to put out there, with dread. I'm excited to see how those guys play out, and obviously they're attacking each day and doing a good job.
Thanks, Coach. One, how is Crawford coming along? And then second, what's your philosophy on playing? How many offensive linemen in a perfect world in a game do you like to play?
Yeah.
Just a regular game.
Absolutely. First question there on Tykees Crawford. Young man that's came into our program as a transfer. He's getting better every single day. Every single day he does something. I'm like, man, lights turning on, and we're doing some good things, or he's doing some good things, showing up to work every day, showing up to the meeting room, learning our schemes, which he's been a part of some other schemes as well. So learning the language for him, learning the calls within our offense. He wakes up every day and is striding towards getting better every day, which is what you want. And then the second question, as far as O-line rotation, I think you got to get the best 5 out there to start, but everybody in the country is looking for 10 really, really good offensive linemen. There's not a program in the country that is just overrun with great offensive linemen. That's why recruiting is huge. But also, as far as my personal philosophy, I think you've got to have guys that you trust on that second wave, about 8 guys that if something happens, in a game, you can't control the variables that are out there. If something happens, I don't want my heart rate to go up because somebody's out there. So we're working every day with combo line, what we call combo lines in practice, where we're mixing up guys where, hey, if XYZ goes down, who's going in? Okay, he may play right tackle right now. He may move to left guard. And it really helps the kids with confidence too. Because if you get throughout the season and there's some of those circumstances that come up, the kids aren't doubting themselves. They've been in that situation in practice. So I'd say you got to have 8 solid ones that you believe in, but heck, everybody in the country will take 10 to 12 for sure.
Coach, if Stromberg couldn't go, then obviously Ty Clary is your backup center and working right guard. And Coach, so how is he doing also at center? And Coach Pittman mentioned the other day that Latham also might be the backup left tackle in addition to playing left guard.
Yeah, that's part of some of those combo periods we're going through. We'll go through the 1s, 2s, and 3s, and then we'll have a rack of plays where those situations arise. Ty Clary moving to center, for instance. Brady Latham moving to one of the tackles. Okay, there's some different. St. John moving inside. Those situations all arise, and it's all just to prep our players with confidence. And so don't be surprised if you look up and you see some practice clips, something like that, somebody's playing differently. We're just trying to prepare those young men and make sure it's not oh, man, I hope they don't put me in here. But more of oh, yeah, that was second week of camp. I was right there. Let's go. Let's make this call and let's execute the play.
Obviously want Ricky back as soon as you can get it, but how's Ty doing at center? He's played there before, but obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a past here playing center, doing a good job building confidence. In the long term, it's going to really help our offensive line. Okay. And especially with Coach Pittman, obviously with his offensive line background, he's always on me with how many guys you got that can snap the ball. Because obviously you can't operate as offensive line if you don't have a center. So we're trying to be deep at that position. So that's only increasing our depth. And he's doing a really good job. Obviously, he's a senior, so he's got respect in the room, from the other guys and doing some things, or an older guy that has respect. So him moving in there, he's able to make calls. He's coming along every day. Do I see him moving back to guard once Rick gets back there? Absolutely. Okay. But, he's doing a great job, and it's only going to help us in the long term.
You obviously have an offensive line background, but you were coaching tight ends, and then in June, you switched back over to O line. That's kind of an odd time. Just what's that transition been like for you?
Yeah, I've grown a lot as a coach. Being a young guy, obviously you wouldn't script it, but great opportunities aren't ever scripted. You don't get to choose those on your own time. So I showed up to work, and we moved, shuffled up, and I've coached offensive line my whole career. And I feel really strongly with, meeting with guys and learning my way of communicating. I feel like we're building every day, and I feel really strongly about that. So I feel like we're heading in a good direction.
Hey, Cody, one of the most intriguing positions on this team is D-line. As Sam has said, got to get deeper, got to get better. You go against them every day. What are you seeing out of that group? Who's rising up?
They've done it. They've checked the box, with the grad transfers that have come in, Ridgeway, Williams. I don't want to leave guys out because, heck, they're shuffling them in there and they're rolling. Some guys that were higher up in the depth chart in the spring, there's a lot of competition right there, and they're able to skate guys on ones and twos pretty seamlessly. And, have a lot of threat out there. I think, with the big man Ridge in the middle, that's what we needed. We went out and were able to secure that. And then obviously we want to get to the edge and rush the passer. And I think there's a different look there too. I think we've checked the box. I don't want to leave any of those guys out. Obviously we've got some guys that have been here that are flashing too, the Geralds, those type guys that are flashing. And so, man, it's impressive, and it helps us. Obviously with the various looks Coach Odom puts them in. And they're able to get after the passer and give me a little bit of heartburn when I go to bed at night. So, they've checked the box.
Coach, I know you weren't here whenever Clary was a center in the past, but something he struggled with was maybe snap consistency. How is he handling that aspect of the position since he's moved over there?
I'll be honest with you, when it first happened, it was kind of everybody assumed kind of between him and Shane, they were going to take snaps right there. So you move Ty over, and the first couple of days it got to him a little bit, but like with anything, you settle into it, and you're able to build that consistency with it. And I've snapped the ball, and played that. It's not near as easy as what you think. It's really cool when you can sit out there in pregame and snap it when you don't have a 300-pound guy in front of you. But when we're able to simulate that in practice, his consistency's gone up. And, early on in camp, I'd say, there were some consistency issues, but just like anything, he's built on it. And I feel really confident in him right now. Great young man, too, willing to do anything for the University of Arkansas. This type of kids we need in this program.
On Saturday, there was a little bit of a pass pro, some issues, maybe communication. I'm just wondering from your vantage point what you saw there.
I think when you move some guys, you're going to have a little bit of growing pains there, like in our combo situations. So guys playing new positions, and, obviously the talent over there has gotten better. You can't sit here and say, oh man, this, and this. They've gotten better over there. And Coach Ashley's doing a great job coaching those guys up. And, our biggest thing in pass protection is our communication and being comfortable communicating. And sometimes when you shift guys around in different situations, you drop in that area of communication. But I think it's good for those guys to learn it when we don't have a scoreboard turned on. And I think they're only going to grow from it and communicating and speaking the same language.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering if you could tell us about the progress of a couple of second-year guys, Marcus Henderson, Ray Curry Jr., and Jalen St. John, how those guys progressing.
Yeah, starting with St. John, he's out there at tackle and doing a good job. He's going into his role as a tackle, being able to set with those edge rushers. He is a bigger guy, but he's learning his set and maturing with that. You got Marcus Henderson, who's been over at right tackle, doing a good job. Big athletic guy. Okay, more of an athletic, size tackle. Him and St. John kind of contrast a little bit, and you see that in body styles. And then you got Ray Curry, who's coming along there, and he's getting better every day, just understanding what we're doing from an offensive perspective. So he's continued to progress.
Curious what you've seen out of Bo Limmer and Dalton Wagner through 10 practices so far.
Yeah, I really enjoy coaching both of those guys. Bo's kind of a no nonsense guy. Go get to work, and there's merit to that. I appreciate that. He shows up every day. You're not going to hear much out of him. You got to ask him the questions in the meeting room, and he gets them right. So I let him roll. He's but I really enjoy coaching him. And then Dalton, I mean, he's the old man of the room. He keeps us laughing in there, and he's a really sharp guy that, honestly, I think if you look at the room, you take him as a freshman versus what he is now, he's grown leaps and bounds, not only from a personality and leadership perspective, but also a player. And the situations he's seen throughout his years, now he's building that confidence, and he's playing fast and doing some really good things. I really think those two guys are doing really, really well.
Cody, what kind of camp is Myron Cunningham having, and what are your expectations for him?
Yeah, Myron's coming back in that super senior category. Myron brings that leadership, kind of calm demeanor at times, and that's good for the offensive line. At times we're all running off the ball, striking people every play. It's good to have an old head out there saying, "Hey guys, we got to make this call right here." And I think he's coming back, and he knows how valuable he is to our offensive line, and I think that's built up his confidence as well. And he's doing some good things. Obviously, he's getting new tests in pass protection, which is great for him. He's got guys pushing him every day in practice to get better on that edge. With seeing different rushes and different types of speed out there. So it's been a really good camp for him.
I know that's obviously good players at every level, but Ridgeway, when you're watching film, we think, wow, this guy was at Illinois State. He was playing, 1AA or what? I mean, what do you think about him?
Yeah, don't knock it. There's good players at every level now. You're looking at one that coached them all over, and I've been on some Division II teams that had a lot of really, really good players. So everybody's got their own story. Everybody's got their own way of developing. And there's good players coming from all the levels. And obviously we've got a really good one right there who helps shore up some things in the middle. And he makes our guys better, man. It's an iron sharpens iron mentality. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but that is really what has happened here. We've gone out and signed some guys that help us on that defensive side of the ball. And there's some different battles going on in camp that weren't there in the spring that I think help us a lot.
Y'all made a decision on Saturday, or maybe let him recuperate more?
Yeah. We're going to let him progress back. Ricky's going to be back with us here shortly. I went to school for physical education, so I let the doctor people handle all that stuff out, and I go with what they say. But he'll be back rather shortly here with us, and he'll be ready to rock and roll. He's been going through some walkthrough stuff and sharpening the blade mentally, and just had a little hiccup right there, and he'll be back to it. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.